They always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Alright guys, what's going on? I'm Tim Kelly. This is the NFL Final Score on the Real Sports Talk Network. Thank you for tuning in. NFL Week 16, some teams clinched, some teams had a chance to clinch, and some records were broken or are close, I should say, to being broken next week. Crazy NFL week. Let's start with Packers and Titans. Wasn't much of a game. Packers get a 55-7 win over the Titans. The MVP watch comes out in this game for Aaron Rodgers, who tossed 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. James Jones had a big game for the Packers as well. 7 catches for 100 yards. Ryan Grant even added 2 touchdowns. It's been a while since we've heard from him. But the Packers move to 11-4. Titans drop to 5-10. Packers are alive in terms of having a chance to have a bye in the first round of the playoffs. The next game, Colts get a 20-13 win over the Chiefs. The Colts improve to 10-5. Chiefs drop to 2-13. The Colts today clinched a playoff berth. It's been absolutely incredible what Andrew Luck has done there this season, and Bruce Arians as the interim head coach. What they have done there this season has been it's been amazing to go from a 2-14 team, and I know that they were playing last year with Dan Orlowski and Curtis Painter, but a quarterback can only make so much of a difference no matter how good he's been. A lot of credit has to go to Bruce Arians and Chuck Pagano and the job that they've both done as the head coaches this season. Bruce Arians in particular. The biggest play of this game was an Andrew Luck pass to Reggie Wayne to win the game. To me, in this game, the Chiefs look like a team that, or the Colts, I should say, they look like a team that will likely lose in the first round of the playoffs, but just to make it there, it's been an incredible season for the Colts. Chuck Pagano will return this week. He'll be in the facility. He should be on the sideline for Week 17, and as far as they make it in the playoffs. The Dolphins get a 24-10 win over the Bills, game that really didn't mean much. Reggie Bush had 3 touchdowns. That propelled the Dolphins to a 7th win of the season, and 7 wins for them this season. That's been pretty successful. They've been better than the Jets, and they've also been better than the Bills, who will drop to 5-10. And really, the Bills have been one of the most disappointing teams that we have not talked about this year. They signed Mario Williams, and they just have not been able to translate the signings. How great CJ Spiller has played this year, that has not translated into wins for them. 2 other teams that have had difficulties winning games this year are the Chargers and the Jets. The Chargers get a 27-17 win over the Jets. Both teams now sit at 6-9 with 1 game left to play. Both coaches have uncertain futures. North Turner, it's almost a lock. He'll be gone. Rex Ryan, I would tend to think he'll stay, but we don't know right now. A turnover and a fumble from Greg McElroy is really what helped the Chargers to win this game. Phillip Rivers did not really impress me watching this game. Greg McElroy, though, was worse, and the Jets do not have a quarterback on that roster that is a real NFL starter. I'll say it there. The Bengals get a 13-10 win over the Steelers. Bengals improve to 9-6. Steelers drop to 7-8. The Bengals clinch a wild card berth with this game. The Ravens would go on to win, and I'll get to that game. So the Bengals will be a wild card team. They'll go on the road for the first week of the playoffs. Josh Brown gets a game-winning field goal that was set up by Ben Roethlisberger interception. Him and Todd Haley have not been on the same page this entire season, and I would be shocked if Todd Haley is back as the offensive coordinator for them next year. The Steelers are out of the playoff race now, and it's kind of going to be strange to watch the playoffs without the Steelers because they're in it pretty much 4 years out of 5. Geno Atkins for the Bengals today. Huge game. Forces a fumble and has 2.5 sacks. Bengals look good heading into the playoffs. The Rams get a 28-13 win over the Bucks. Sam Bradford tosses 2 touchdowns. Josh Freeman throws 4 interceptions in this game. Rams improve to 7-1. They have a chance to finish above 500 this year. The Bucks drop to 6-9. Josh Freeman, there's parts of this year where he's looked like a franchise quarterback, and then these last few games, he's almost done the opposite of what Cam Newton's done. Cam Newton was turning it over, but now he's cleaned it up and he looks like a franchise quarterback. Josh Freeman looked like a franchise quarterback, and now he's going backwards, which is what he did last year. Had a good start to this year, and I don't know what to think heading into next season with Josh Freeman. Panthers get a 17-6 win over the Raiders. Speaking of Cam Newton, he leads the Panthers in this game with a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Carson Palmer left this game with a rib injury after only 3 passes. Matt Leinart came in. He went 16-32. 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. Terrell Pryor went 1 of 1 with 5 yards, so neither of them played a huge role in this game in terms of having good success. The Panthers improved to 6-9. Raiders dropped to 4-11. Big changes coming likely for both teams. The Saints get a 34-31 win over the Cowboys in what was the game of the day. The Cowboys came back from a 31-17 deficit to tie the game and send it to overtime. Tony Romo throws a touchdown to Miles Austin. I've got to give a lot of credit to Tony Romo, and I think it's time we start being a little bit more realistic. Tony Romo has had a damn good season this year. He will be, and he's been a top 5 quarterback this year. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm an Eagles fan. Believe me, I hate giving love to Dallas Cowboys, but I got to give props to what Tony Romo has done. That being said, in overtime, Cowboys get the ball. They go 3 and out. On defense, they're able to strip the ball away from a Saints receiver, but unfortunately for them, it trickles all the way down to their own 2-yard line where Jimmy Graham recovers it, setting up a Garrett Hartley game-winning field goal to win this one. Just some stats from this game. Drew Brees throws for 446 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dez Bryant has been great in the second half with a broken finger today. 9 catches for 224 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jason Witten catches his 103rd ball, breaking Tony Gonzalez's tight end receptions record for a single season. He has had a Hall of Fame career, and it's been fun to watch, even from an Eagles fan's perspective. And Tony Romo throws 4 touchdowns, 416 yards. Great performances on both sides. Drew Brees, at this point, they're not going to the playoffs, but he's adding on to his Hall of Fame resume. Tony Romo played a really good game today. I have a tough time blaming him for this one. I mean, he has had parts of the season where maybe he's been a little bit inconsistent, but this second half of the year and into December, when he normally hasn't played as well, he's turned it up another level, and I've been impressed by what Tony Romo has been able to do for the Dallas Cowboys in the second half. Their playoff hopes, they're not great, but they are still alive. I'll get to the playoff picture at the end of this video. The Redskins have great playoff hopes at this point. They get a 27-20 win over the Eagles. In RG3's return, the Skins are able to hold off the Eagles' late efforts. Jeremy Maclin and Nick Foles should have hooked up for a touchdown, but Maclin slipped, Foles threw it a little short, and time expires, and the Washington Redskins win their 6th straight and are now 1 game away against the Dallas Cowboys. If they are able to win that game, then they win the division, and it will have been a great run for RG3, Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, everyone involved with the Washington Redskins. They were a 3-6 team, and now they're sitting at 9-6. It's incredible what they've done in RG3's rookie year. And Alfred Morris, too, we don't give him enough credit. The Patriots get a 23-16 win over the Jags. Patriots improved to 11-4. Jags dropped to 2-13. 88 yards and a touchdown from Wes Welker, mixed with a late interception from Chad Henne, helped the Patriots to hold on and win this game. MVP watch, Tom Brady was 24 of 41, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's had another really good year, not an MVP year for my money. The Vikings, speaking of people who've had MVPs, the Vikings get a 23-6 win over the Houston Texans. Vikings improved to 9-6. Texans had a chance to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They did not do that. 3 Blair Walsh field goals helped the Vikings to win this game. Schaub sat out late because they were out of it, and they just decided that they're going to wait till a showdown next week against the Indianapolis Colts to decide if they will have that number 1 seed come playoff time. MVP watch, Adrian Peterson needs 208 yards for Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record. He needs 108 yards to reach 2,000. He has had a tremendous year. Didn't have a great game today, only 85 yards, but he was playing against a very good defense for Houston. So he's not going to come out every game and rush for 170 yards. It's not going to work like that. We'll see what happens coming back next week. J.J. Watt, 2.5 sacks away from Michael Strahan's record. We'll see if he's able to get that. One note, Arian Foster left this game with an irregular heartbeat. Afterwards, a statement that came from head coach Gary Kubiak. Foster said, "I'll be fine, I'll be okay. It's a very minor situation, so I'll be okay." Certainly, whether you're a Texans fan or not, you hope that Arian Foster is able to come back and be Arian Foster, which is one of the best running backs in the NFL. You hope that this is nothing major that would derail his career or anything like that. The Broncos get a 34-12 win over the Browns. MVP watch, a guy who had his career derailed last year, has come back and been just as good. Peyton Manning throws for 3 touchdowns, 339 yards. He really made himself the front runner for the MVP today, because last year, Aaron Rodgers had the best year and Drew Brees came on hot late. This year, Peyton Manning and Adrian Peterson have been neck and neck the last few weeks. This week, Adrian Peterson did not do so great. I mean, he didn't have a bad game, but he didn't do what Peyton Manning was able to go out and do today. So I think that Peyton Manning has put himself in position to win the MVP, which would be his 5th MVP. He already holds the record with 4 as the most MVPs ever won by a player. So he's just adding on to his tremendous career, and hopefully for him and Broncos fans, he's able to add on his 2nd Super Bowl ring in his career. The Chicago Bears get a 28-13 win over the Arizona Cardinals. A fumble return from Zach Bowman and an interception return from Charles Tillman help the Bears to keep themselves in the playoff race again. I'm going to get to that in a second. The Bears improved to 9-6. Cardinals dropped to 5-10. Final game, the Ravens get a 33-14 win over the Giants. Bernard Pierce, very underrated running back out of Temple. He rushes for 123 yards. And he helps the Ravens to win the AFC North. They will head to the playoffs for the 5th straight year, all 5 years under John Harbaugh. They have gone to the playoffs. Now it is time to see if Harbaugh and Flacco and Ray Rice can take it to the next level and finally get over the hump, get to that Super Bowl, and maybe even win one. Ravens improve to 10-5. Giants drop to 8-7. This was not a game they could afford to lose. Looking at the playoff picture, the AFC, all 6 teams that are going to be in are set. The Texans currently hold the number 1 seed at 12-3. If they win next week, they have the number 1 seed. The Broncos sit at 12-3. If they win and the Texans lose, they will have the number 1 seed. Both teams appear headed for byes. The Patriots still have an outside chance if one of those teams loses and they win next week to have a bye in the first round of the playoffs. They are at 11-4 at the number 3 seed. The Ravens are at 9-5 at the 4 seed. Colts are at 10-5 at the 5 seed, and the Bengals clinch a playoff berth today. They are at 9-6, have a chance to go to 10-6 next week. All 6 of those teams are for sure in the playoffs. The NFC isn't quite as clear. The Falcons do have the number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs locked up. They're at 13-2. The 49ers, who will play the Seahawks tonight in a huge matchup, I say Seahawks win by 10+. They sit at 10-3-1, currently own the 2nd seed. If they are to lose, then that puts the Packers in a position to take over that number 1 seed. They're at 11-4 right now. The Redskins are at 9-6 in the 4 seed. Seahawks are at 9-5 in the 5 seed, and the Vikings are at 9-6 in the 6 seed. Teams that still have a shot are the Bears, who are at 9-6, the Giants, who are at 8-7, the Cowboys, who are at 8-7. For the Bears, The reason that they have the same exact record as the Vikings, and they are 1-1 against each other, but the Vikings are 3-2 in their division. The Bears are 2-3. So whoever's the better divisional record is the team that gets into the playoffs. The Bears will play the Lions next week, and the Vikings will play the Packers. So both teams will have a chance to finish out and have one more divisional game. If the Vikings were to lose and the Bears were to lose or to win, then they'd be tied, and I'm not even sure exactly what happens next as far as determining who goes to the playoffs. In the NFC East, the Cowboys and Giants are both 1-1 against each other, but the Cowboys are 3-2 in the division while the Giants are 2-3. The Giants play the Eagles next week. The Redskins play the Cowboys. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a crazy Week 17 in the NFL. It was a crazy Week 16, though. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to recap this the entire year. And believe me, we're just getting started as the playoffs approach. I'm Tim Kelly. This is the NFL Final Score on the Real Sports Talk Network. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST, Facebook.com/TheRealSportsTalk, and I'll see you guys later.
Just a little ways around the corner from fear. Be there, next year, where I'm going.